In this vlog, we're gonna see how to make a Firebase login. So previously we have dealt with Facebook login and Google login. So now I will be showing you how to make a Firebase login. So it's for an absolute beginner. It's a very simple tutorial actually. If you are having a good knowledge on Firebase, no problem. Even if you are first time you are accessing Firebase, if you follow this tutorial, you will be having a very easy way of implementing Firebase login. So let's start with our dependencies, and here the easy way to add Firebase to your project I have shown in a link above in the card. So if you follow it, you can easily update your current project with Firebase. In Android Studio we are having an inbuilt feature for adding Firebase, so using which here you can see a Firebase assistant is loading. Yeah, using this you can add all the services of the Firebase. You can add analytics, cloud messaging for push notifications, and authentication for login, and the remaining things we will be seeing in coming up tutorials. I have already dealt with analytics and push notifications. For the code you may refer the description section below. So currently we are dealing with the authentication, so nothing but we are making a user login. So whenever you are creating any application, you want to implement a user login in your application. So if you don't have your own server, and if you want to maintain a global login, for example, with the help of Google, the user can log in with the help of a user credentials, and they will be maintained in a global data, not in your personal app data or anywhere else. So yeah, there will be storage available in the Firebase for holding these kinds of data. We will be seeing in the further level of tutorials. Okay, so first we need to add the Firebase authentication dependency here. So as I have said, with the help of Firebase assistant we can add all the remaining things. So for your understanding, I am saying these things will be added, like Google services class path will be added to your build.gradle, and here an extension will be added for Google services. And this particular tutorial I am dealing with a Kotlin language, so if you are having any problem with Kotlin, you may comment in the description section below. I will try to provide the Java code also. So here every tutorial, as we see from layout file, we will be going through layout file only. Here you can see I have designed a simple layout for you to understand: username, password, and two buttons for login, register, and forgot password. So here we will be dealing with these things: username, password, and here you can also see a forgot password. So using Firebase authentication system, it is very easy for you to register a user, login a user, and then even if you forgot your password, you will get a email to that particular registered email. So let's get to see the code. Okay, so here we need to initialize a variable authentication using Firebase. So when you add these dependencies, you can make use of these class files: Firebase authentication, Firebase, all these things. So if you have any problem importing these files, you may comment in the comment section below or reach me through my Instagram handle. We can discuss later. So here we have added two buttons and a text view. You have seen login button, register button, and forgot password text view. If you have any doubts, you may refer the card. So here on start we are fetching, if a particular user is available, then we will fetch the user details on start. And here you can see we have three on click listeners: login, register, and password reset. So here what are we doing in login? Let us see. So you are providing username and password. So here you can see I have directly provided the edit text, converting them to string and trimming the unnecessary blank spaces and providing it to our method. So here we are providing username and password and adding a listener. So what's the use of a listener here? So if you're it will listen for your task which you have started. Here the task is login task, so it will listen whether it is a successful task or a failure task. So whenever you have a successful task, you will enter into this particular block, and here you will be getting the username. So this is the login, you will be getting the username, and you can fetch all the details regarding the user depending upon your requirements. And first of all, you need to go through register because you don't have any particular database currently, so you need to make a registration of your user credentials. So here in this state, register, same thing, you need to, in place of sign in, you need to make use of create user with email id and password, and the same you will be having a listener, complete listener. So here you may change your block according to your requirements. I have shown some small alert screen. And here the third module is password reset. So this is a crucial model. So whenever your user forgets your password, I mean his account credentials, whenever he want to reset his password, he can make use of this particular module. By clicking on this particular module, he need to enter the username in the section provided below. So based on that username, we will be sending, here username is nothing but a email address. So to that particular email address we will be sending a password reset link, and using which he can reset his password. And what is the best thing is, if you are doing all this manually by making use of your own server, you need to create all these statements, all this code by yourself, like accepting the user email and making the background things onto the server, making a php file or whatever the language it might be. So here using Firebase, you are avoiding all these kinds of things by directly make use of these Firebase libraries. And here you can see it's a simple alert box. So here we are passing a title and a message, and we are making use of a positive button, that's all, we are not using a negative button and show. So let us get to see how it is working. So here you can see this is our database in Firebase. So here in authentication section, whenever you log in the authentication section, so if you are having any trouble reaching till this particular screen, the detailed code is available in our website, in the link is provided in the description section below. So just you log into your Firebase account, create a project over there, and after entering the package name, the project name, here we have given Android login, so you might give your own project name, and then this screen will be displayed. And also a SHA-1 algorithm is required to provide. So you can see the card description there, I have provided how to make the SHA-1 also. So this final screen, this will be loaded, and you need to tap on the authentication section from the left navigation thing. So here you can see currently we don't have any user here. So here let's try to reload, and you can see no users for our project currently. So what we do is we will run our project. Okay, and let us check it. So I am providing, so you might remember that this need not be exactly like your Gmail address or anything. You might provide anything over here. Why I am providing Gmail address? Because here I will be also getting a forgot password link, right? So it's not necessarily for Gmail, Yahoo, any email ID you can provide. So first of all I will try to log in, and as you can see we don't have any user available in the database. So you can see we have got user not found and it is asking for us to register. Okay, now I will try to register. User successfully registered. Okay, so this is our registration details, it is showing over here. So here it is showing the user details. So let us check with our database whether the user is loaded or not. Yeah, here you can see we have registered successfully, and so it is getting. In the same way you can try with forgot password also. You will be getting an email. I have tested it, it's working. You will be getting an email for resetting your password if you test it over here. So that's it. So this is a simple way of dealing with the Firebase login. So if you are still a little bit confused, you may contact me through my Instagram handle, and the detailed code is available in the description section below. In this vlog we will see how to upload an image to Firebase storage and how to fetch the image back to our project. Okay, so before getting into the project, let us know what are the things to be taken care. So we need to add Firebase to our project. So if you have missed my previous tutorials, we have dealt with Firebase login and Firebase CRUD operations on the database. So there I have explained how to add Firebase to your project, and here in the tools option of Android Studio you will be having a Firebase assistant, so using which whatever functionality, whatever module you want to have into your project, you can directly add it. For example, here we are going to deal with storage. When you click on add cloud storage to your app, so that particular assistant will, I have already added this to our project, so I don't want to add once again. So you just click on this button and accept the conditions, so the project will be configured automatically with the Firebase. So let us see what are the things required for the Firebase. This is Firebase authentication thing. So you need to authenticate the user, how he need to access the database. For example, you will not provide authentication for every user using your application, right? So some will be restricted for read permission, some will be for write permission. So based on your app requirement you can provide the authorizations for them. And here storage, so we are performing read and write operations on the database, so we are making use of this dependency. And here you can see glide image library we have used, because when we download the image we want to load the image to our image view, right? So I am using the glide here. If you are having any trouble with the glide library, the tutorial link is provided in the description section below. So let us see what we are gonna deal with the tutorial. So here you can see an image view where our logo is loaded and 4 buttons are there: upload, delete, download, set metadata. And here you can see an empty image view. So from this image view we are uploading data to our Firebase storage, and we can perform download, we can add metadata, and also we can delete the image. And when you click on the download, the image will be loaded to our image view, which is empty over here. So while let us see the code. So here we have storage reference objects initialization. We are providing with late initializations, so we are initializing the storage reference here, and the logo reference here. I am having this particular logo in the drawable folder. This particular logo we are uploading. Okay, so these are the references, and these are the 4 button click listeners, set on click listeners we are using, as I have shown you these 4 buttons, right? So first of all, if you see the database, if you see the database, you will get an idea. So here is the Firebase console. So here, whenever you create your project, it will be displayed here, you can see. And in this particular project we are dealing with the storage section. So click on the storage, and here you can see there are no files here. So the image we are uploading will be saved in this particular block. Okay, you can do it manually also, and you can try to retrieve it from your application. So the first important thing here is rules. You need to specify the access before. So here I am giving a permission, anyone can read and write to this particular bucket. Okay, so every non-user of, even non-user of your application has the permission to read and write. Why? Because as this is a tutorial, I am making it easier for you to understand. I am providing this rule. So if you are having any doubts regarding the rules, you can comment in the comment section below. I will get back to you. And also you can reach me through my Instagram handle for the faster reply here. So the database is empty, right? So let us start uploading our image. So for that, let us see how to upload the image. Here you can see, right, the logo references, the name and the path for the logo is been taken, and then we are converting that into bitmap. And here you can see image view upload dot drawable. If you are confused with this direct handling of image view, you can look into the description section. I have provided synthetic binding for the Kotlin. So using the tutorial, you can get to know how we can make the synthetic binding. So this is a synthetic binding. Directly I am making use of the image view here. So here we will upload this particular bitmap, and this is a listener we are providing here for the upload task on success listener and on failure listener. So here we are already having an failure listener. Okay, so let us run the code and see. So here our application is loaded. So let us place it aside of our database. Okay, so here generally you can upload the image from the folder of your device also, but I want to make this a simple tutorial, and if you really want the to upload from gallery, just comment it down in the comment section. I will provide the code for it also. So I am clicking on the upload here. So just wait as it takes some time. You need to process this in asynchronous way. You can see success over here, and let us see our database. And here you go, our file logo is loaded. So our image is loaded here, and when you click on the image, you will get the image related information. Okay, so here we don't have any metadata for this particular image. So how to add a metadata here, you can see, right? So in on click listener of the metadata button, we have set some data for value, logo, name, website name, all these things. So let us try to add our metadata also. Set metadata. So yes, our metadata is also updated. So you need to just refresh the view and try to see. It's not loaded, right? So you need to refresh the view. Actually, sometimes the data will not be loaded. Don't worry, you need to just refresh the view, that's all. Here you can see our metadata is loaded, website androidcoding.in. okay, so whenever the data is not loading, you need not think that it's not loaded. You just need to refresh the database and you need to check again. It will surely get loaded. So what are the other features we are having? We are having download feature. So I will try to download the image and set it here. Okay, it's done. So what we are doing in download section, let us see. Here in download section we are getting the URI path here, and we are passing it to the glide library, and using the image view we are loading. You see how simple it is, in a single line we have written. Okay, so you programming using Kotlin is very simpler than Java, but if you some people might have difficulties because they are used to Java, so don't worry, just comment in the comment section below. I will provide you the Java code also. So what is the leftover functionality for us? Let us see. Delete is only the thing left over, right? So let us try to delete the image also. File deleted. Okay, so let us try to refresh. You can see there are no files here, so the image is deleted. Okay, so important steps you need to make sure is the rules is the first important step, and the second, you need to provide the data which is required for uploading the data and downloading and metadata. All these things you need to take care. Okay, so as I said, if you want to upload any data for any image from your gallery, you may get the code when you comment in the comment section below. And if still you are having any problem, so for the first time when you are accessing the Firebase console, you might face some problem. So in that particular time, please let me know. I will guide you, and I will make it easier for you, because the first time user will surely get confused what are all the sections and what is the particular thing we need to consider. So in this particular topic we are only gonna consider with the storage only. We are uploading our image file and we are downloading it again back. So, and this database also we have dealt in previous tutorial, and authentication for Firebase login we have dealt it. So if you are missed those tutorials, you can just go back to them and again you see them. You will get a very good confidence actually if you go step by step. So this is for this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, do like, share and subscribe to our channel. In this vlog we will see how to upload data in the form of collections into Firebase storage. Okay, so here we will see what are the dependencies required. You need to add Firebase Firestore dependency here, and also you need to configure your project with the Firebase Assistant. So when you go into tools Firebase, you will be having a Firebase Assistant loaded up here, so using which you can handle your project configuration things. So here we are dealing with the real-time database, so you need to add your database to your project. So, and if you are still having any doubts regarding the Firebase Assistant, you might refer to the link provided in the card section. Okay, so these are all the dependencies. The important dependency is Firestore. Okay, so let us see the design. We will be getting a clarity of what are we doing. So as you can see, it's a very simple. Okay, we are having two buttons, that's it, for writing data and reading data. Okay, I am showing you the predefined data over here. We can also make some edit text and we can take the user input and all those things. I mean, for making it a simpler to you understand, I am making it's a static data only. There is no problem. If you take edit text also, you need to provide your edit text value here. Here this is a value and here it will be a key. I think you might know this. It's a mapping. If you are a new beginner and having difficulty dealing with these things, please do let me know in the comment section below. I will surely help you. And here we have added our on-click listeners, and here we have used synthetic binding. I have discussed this many times, and if you are still having any doubts, I will provide you the link for the Kotlin synthetic binding. Here we are initializing a database object, okay, using the Firebase Firestore. Okay, So here we are initializing our on-click listeners. You can see here we have two buttons, write data and read data. So let us see the database. It's the first and important thing. You will get the clarity. This is our project name, and here is the console is loaded, and in this particular topic we are dealing with database. Okay, so if you are a beginner and you are first time seeing this console, you might surely face some difficulties because these two options will not be there for you. There will be some this authentication database, these four things will be displayed here image pictographically, and it will be giving you a basic introduction kind of thing. So it's click on the get started after going through the instructions provided by the Firebase. Okay, and if you are still having any problem, do let me know, I will surely help you. So here in the previous tutorial we have dealt with real-time database, and now we are looking forward for Cloudflare store. Okay, so click on it, and as I have said in the previous tutorial also, it's a very important step. Rules is the first important step you need to provide. Here I am giving permission for every, even user and non-user, I mean for everyone I am giving an permission to read and write to this particular bucket. Okay, so it is also showing you a warning, you can see, right? In the real-time projects you will not provide this particular permission. There will be some restrictions, so you need to provide those restrictions in the rules section. And if you are having any doubts in this particular rules, let me know, I will help you. Okay, here is our data, and you can see currently it is empty. And you say the statistics also, you can see here how many reads and writes. So here you can see 25 2. So I have used this database, and for your knowledge I have just cleared all the data, and from starting I am showing you again. So here you can also manually create some collections and add data, and you can retrieve it from your applications. But we also create an application, we also make a collection from application only in this particular tutorial. Okay, so here you can see I have considered an hash map which has a string as a key value, and on the other side it can be anything. It might be an integer, it might be, here you can see we have added id as an integer, and here it is a string. Okay, so here these are the fields I am going to add into our collection. So to do that we need to have a name for the collection, right? So it's a users, I am providing the name, and here we are adding a listener, on success listener and on failure listener. So what will these things do is, like, it will create a collection over here with the name user, and inside that it will create a document for you. So it will be providing a document number, and inside the document the data will be stored. Don't get confused, I will clearly show you what is happening in backend. So let us try to run our code. You can see it's a very simple project, there is nothing much typical thing. I want to make sure it is very easier for you to understand, so I am making the tutorials very simple, because if you have a basic knowledge of what is what, then you can do wonders with these concepts. Okay, so here our application is loaded. So there is a database, I said, you can get a very good clarity actually. So here you can see there is nothing. We will try to write the data. Okay, these things take some time because they are asynchronous tasks basically. So I think the data is loaded. Let us try to refresh our database. You might feel difficult because sometimes the data will be loaded a bit late depending upon your network connections and all those things. Also you need to refresh it every time. It will sometimes it not automatically loads the data, so please take care of these small things and don't get confused. Here you can see users, we have provided the name for the collection here, right? So from here it has taken the name users, and inside it will create a document ID itself dynamically. Okay, we are not going to provide this, so we have not provided this actually. UKJP, it has dynamically created this. So here the fields which we have provided here, right? So all these fields alphabetical order wise. A is the first, right? AEFII. Okay, so in this form it is loaded, and you can make the editings and delete all the things if you want. Okay, so here is ID1. So let us try to add one more for your knowledge. Let's make it 2 actually, not 2, just make it Abby. Okay, and the same details again. I don't want to make waste your time, so let us make it faster. Okay, try to write again. Just you can see here the another document is loaded, and when you go there ID2 is loaded and your name Abhi. Okay, here it is Abhishek, and here it's. So how many documents we have? We have 2 documents, right, under the collection users. So what is the other thing we are going to see? Reading the data. Okay, we have uploaded the data to our database, and now it's time to look at the data. So you can see, right, here the code I will provide. Whenever you write the data, you will get the document ID also here. In on success listener you will be getting a document ID, and I have printed it here. Okay, so don't worry, the code will be provided in the description section below. You need not write the code. I will provide the code. You just listen to this tutorial first. If you understand this, in future you can write yourself. Okay, so here now let us try to read the code. Okay, I will click on the read data, and you can see here user download size is 2. Okay, so what is this 2? We are having 2 collections, right? So the list of the size of the list is 2 here. Just for your sake I have printed it here because you will understand. Here you can see size of the result, and here you can see our data is loaded from the first collection, and here no, it's the first document is loaded here, and the second document is loaded here. See ID2 and ID1. So by using this for loop we can also load a list. You can make this as your requirement. Okay, I am just providing you the upload and download of and what is the process. So this is how we will upload the data. This is cloud firestore. Okay, we previously dealt with real-time database, and this is cloud firestore, so don't get confused, and you can refer to the previous tutorial also for the real-time database thing. So we have dealt with this uploading and downloading, so this is for this tutorial. And don't forget the rules thing, because if you are confused in the rules thing you can't go ahead, I mean you can't proceed with the tutorial. So be confident with these rules. We have provided read and write access for all, for all the users under any condition. Generally we don't provide like this, so please take care. And when you are making a real-time application, don't provide this rule I am saying. Okay, so this is how the collections are stored. And if you like this tutorial, please do share, like and subscribe to our channel. And in this vlog we are gonna see how to make CRUD operations with Firebase database. So as usual we will start with our dependencies. So yes, what is the need for this Firebase database? Whenever you don't have any specialized server for you and you don't want to invest before you are trying to make a small application, So here you don't think there is any investment, so you can use this Firebase services. So in our previous tutorial we have seen Firebase login, and I have provided the link in the card. If you missed it, you can see why, because there we have discussed about the basics of Firebase and how to include Firebase into our project. So if you go through the tutorial, you might have much knowledge on Firebase and it will be easier for you to understand this tutorial. Anyway, we deal with the basic implementations so that every beginner can understand. So let us get started. Here you can see we have added Firebase database. uh, this particular tutorial I am doing in Kotlin as usually. So if you have any queries regarding the language, if you wanted it to be in Java, just let me know in the comment section below, and can also let me know in my Instagram handle. I can provide you the Java code also. So here, if you want to know detail, regarding these implementations, you can follow my previous tutorial, because I have already explained them over there. So here let us get started with our design first. So it's a simple design again. Here we have taken one edit text, one button, and a text view. So let us see what is what. So this edit text, with the help of this edit text, we gonna say take some user input, and we will submit it with the help of the button, and we will display it with the text view. So it's very clear, right? So let's get on with our Java code, and here itself we will start it. So the very first thing we do is we will initialize an object for the database reference, and why I have initialized it globally I will explain. We can initialize it, like a local variable also. So here we are getting a reference. Here what is a message? So this is a label in the database. It is a key actually. So with the help of this message we will be storing some value. With the help of this key, message key, we will be storing some value. So while fetching also we will look for this message key, and we'll fetch that particular value. Not only fetching, while storing also we will use this message. Don't worry, we will see it in the real time now. So here I am setting a basic value. Here you can see I am setting my name as a message. So you might be confused, but don't worry, when we have a look at the Firebase database, you will have a clear picture. So here I am initialized the set on click listener for the button submit, and here add value event listener. So here, as the comment says, we are reading from the database here. So I think to solve all your confusions we need to look at the database once. So here we go. This is our database. So for the beginners who are watching this video, have missed the previous one, you might be confused. So you need to log into your Firebase console, and from there you need to select your project. If you don't have any project, you need to create a project, and you need to give your project package name. So don't think what is the package name, just go to your manifest file. So this is your package name, and you need to provide the package name and a SHA-1 algorithm also. So all these details I have mentioned in the previous tutorial, and if you want the SHA-1 how to generate all these things, you can check in the description section also again. So here, after doing all those things and creating a project, here we land. So for login we have dealt with the authentication section, and for this part of tutorial we will be dealing with the database. So when we click on the database we will get one particular console. Okay, data, rules, backups, usage. So for the first time when you are coming into this console, you will be asked to select an options out of database, storage, hosting, functions. So from there try to select database, and the very first thing you will be asked is the rules. So what are the rules? Here you can see the rules I have given: read, write, true. So this is a public, I am giving permission for the public to make read and write in this particular database. So generally when you are creating, you need to disable the public actions. I mean, it's all depending upon your requirements. If you want the public to access the database or not, it's depending upon your project requirement. So it's a rule I am mentioning. So you might go through the rule according to your requirement. So that is a primary step, and here you can see message. You have seen the message here, right? In our main activity, we have defined message path here. So I think you got clarified now. So here we are using this key message as a key to insert the value and to retrieve the value, and here my name is there, and you can see here we have passed my name, so that is getting reflected over here. And if you really want to check it out once again, I will do something more. Generally, okay, android coding.in, so we mention our website name here and try to run it. So here you can see the value is changed, and also once check our database. So here you can see our data is updated from my name Abhishek to androidcoding.in. And so now let us check it out directly even. So here we can see, if I say developer and click on submit button, here you can see this value is changed here and here in the both the places. And let us try something more also. I mean, one more example. Firebase. And now try to observe here and here just once. So you can see, yeah. So this way we can make, I mean, it's a basic CRUD operation on Firebase database. So I have taken this as a simple example so that the beginners will understand first what is the process of making Firebase database implementations and then a simple message. So we have dealt with Firebase login and Firebase analytics and push notifications till now. We so in coming tutorials we gonna see what are the storage options, how to store our images, data, and I mean we need to implement a recycler view to show them. So all this in the coming up tutorials. So if you are like this tutorial, do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and the code for this tutorial is available in the description section below. So there you can find the link to the code and also the explanation in our website. If you are having any doubts, you can mention in the comment section and also in the Instagram handle. So from Instagram you can get the faster reply.